Welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, the comedy podcast in which we discuss weird news, pop culture, and being middle-aged dads. Yeah. We are bitter, cynical Gen Xers saddled with crippling debt and depressingly past our primes. But that's what makes this podcast so much fun. Gross.
Howdy, gents.
Hi,
y'all.
Man, I have missed you guys. I know I didn't say that before we started this because I'm lying, but quick question for John. You didn't happen to be in Canada on April 17th, 2023, did you?
I don't think so. That was a year ago today, right?
Oh, wow.
Today is April 17th.
It was a year ago. Yeah.
I was not. How come?
So I ran across a news article that popped up on my phone. 6,600 gold bars worth more than 20 million Canadian dollars. And of course, the article makes sure to insult the Canadians by adding in parentheses the US dollar value, which is $14.5 million. So 6,600 gold bars and $2.5 million in Canadian currency, which is $1.8 million US, was stolen on April 17th, 2023. And 9 people were recently being charged for the theft. So I just wondered if maybe you got away scot-free or if you're being extradited pretty soon and we need to find a new co-host.
I have him right next to the golden spike in my vault.
That's why I'm asking.
In my garage, yeah.
Awesome.
So in addition to like the Utah Parks Department, I have the Canadian government after.
Right.
They have about the same amount of authority and power, right?
And budget to chase you.
I fear neither of them.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So, no extradition. That's fine. I just wanted to check.
Could you bring back those gold bars, eh? Really nice of you. Please.
I mean, we're sorry for asking, but...
We're sorry if you had plans for them, but they kind of belong to us.
They've asked me nicely to return them, and when I said no, they're completely out of ideas. Like, well, that's all we got.
Canadians are like the library. Like, you could take the book, and you don't have to return it.
Right.
They'll send letters, and they'll tell you.
They'll just ask you nicely, and
they'll fine you, but
there's no plan B.
It's
they have no legal authority to make you pay that fine.
The FBI's not going to house.
No, yeah. The IRS is not going to garnish your wages. No one's going to be showing up at your door. All they can do is politely ask you nicely again to return that book.
And send you a strongly worded letter.
Which still
says please and thank you several times, probably.
Everything in Canada is made out of wood. Well, how have you guys been?
I'm kind of miserable. I moved to a place, and I love my place that we moved to, but there are fields and fields of grass out here, and I am allergic to grass.
Really?
So, like, my sinuses are killing me because I'm breathing in pollen. Yep. It's like making my body attack itself. And
well, you should get away from that and take a cruise for the next 4 or 5 days.
You know what? I think I will. I think I'll do that tomorrow.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That sounds
Can I
like
come?
A plan. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll have. Why don't you come with me, John?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I got nothing else to do. I have like the next 4 days off of work for no reason, so I may as well use that time.
What a coincidence.
Something fun.
Yeah. Zach, you stay.
I will. I'll stay here. I want to come, but...
Hold down the fort, Zach.
I will. Yep. I'm just going to do an episode without you guys. It's going to be so much cooler than this shit.
We have a group
We'll be
chat.
back in time for the next episode.
Yeah.
John and his wife and my wife all have a group chat. I know that John's wife is a little anxious about the ship, so I did what any good friend would do, and I sent her a TikTok talking about what happins if you fall off the ship.
That was nice
to reassure her.
Right.
Yeah, so the guy was explaining how you get sucked under the propellers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it would take the ship even if you manage to miss the propellers, it takes the ship like a whole mile to turn around and come back and get you. So
it was by a Coast Guard or former Coast Guard, so it had some authority to it.
Yeah.
So just trying to help where I can. But,
well, before we go any further, just real quick, in case people are like, "Hey, you said you were going to have a guest. He had to cancel. He had something going on that he had forgotten about, but he will be showing up on May 15th."
Well, for us, it'll be May 15th. The show will air 2 weeks later.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Sorry. Yes. I'm not doing that math. They'll figure it out.
That reminds me of when I used to be dating. Like, they'd always have a reason, to cancel,
Or it's like 3 weeks later than the date that they said.
Yep.
It's like they say yes just to cancel, because that's even more insulting than just saying no to begin with.
I think that's probably what was going on. But they're like, yeah, my mom died. I'm like, again?
How many moms do you have?
Yeah.
It's the third time you've said that to me.
Well, is that all you're miserable about? Come on. You got to have more.
No,
You got to be angry about something.
No, I just had my mom and a couple of my kids sleep over on Friday. We watched movies and had pizza, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. And then just getting ready for the cruise, packing, and I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna get in trouble for it. But there is a definite difference between men and women when it comes to packing. I have one suitcase, and my wife has gotten a lot better, because when we went on our honeymoon, we had like 6 suitcases, and they were mostly, I think 5 of them were hers.
Yeah.
But like, I don't even have the whole suitcase to myself. I've got like 75% of it's my clothes, and the rest of it's like some extra stuff that we needed. She's doing great. She's come a long way. I'm making her sound like an alcoholic who hasn't had a drink in a few weeks.
Yeah,
But,
make sure you pat her on the head when you think, you're doing so good, and then just give her a pat.
My gosh. Yeah, there we go. That's
I'm just
good for
helping
being a
you
doghouse.
because you're already digging a hole, but you're not digging it fast enough. Let me just assist you.
I'm not targeting her specifically, but I think it's a woman thing. I think, and John, I don't know if this is true for you, but
Oh, yes.
like, I could probably get around with like a gunny sack, on a bindle and a stick. And
Yeah,
I'd be
it's
okay.
basically just 4 days worth of clothes is what you're throwing in there.
I probably could use my backpack, honestly. And
Yeah.
she's right here, and I'm in so much trouble. she's looking at me.
It's not just packing, though. It's the shopping.
Thank you.
The shopping for the cruise. Because, like,
we spent
my wife needs...
$2,500 this month. So
Yeah, my wife needs cruise clothes, because none of the multiple wardrobes full of clothes she has will work for a cruise for some reason.
this is where my screen goes dark, and all you guys hear is screaming.
Like, they needed...
I love you.
There's a formal dinner, and so she had to go buy a dress, which means, of course, she bought 6 dresses for the one dinner. And then she had to buy shoes, because she has over 100 pairs of shoes. That's not even an exaggeration.
Really?
But none of them work for a cruise. They're all for every other occasion you could imagine, but she has no cruise shoes.
Cruise.
So she had to buy specific cruise shoes, and she had to buy a couple bags, because none of her bags would work for a cruise. I mean, they'll work for the beach, they'll work for camping, they'll work for pools, picnics, whatever, but not for a cruise for some reason. Everything needs like a specific designated purpose.
And maybe I shouldn't complain, because Megan didn't do that. We did buy a lot of stuff that we needed, and I did spend like an hour going to Walmart to pick up a battery charger today, but I happily do it because it's going to be a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, it'll be a blast, you guys. What's the destination? Is it just a cruise?
it's Ensenada, Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So we leave out of Long Beach. We're driving there tomorrow, and then there's a stop in Ensenada, Mexico, and then
We'll take lots of pictures. We'll record some sound so we can,
Yeah, I mean, if we could do a slideshow, people fucking love that shit. So just bring it all back, buddy.
Oh, that will be awesome. We'll have to do something super, super cheesy for the slideshow. You'll see me like making faces, then John's like picking me up and throwing me overboard.
Perfect.
Then there's the Coast Guard looking for me.
we gotta do the Titanic
my obituary.
thing. We gotta go to the
bow.
bow. Is it called the bow of the ship? And do the Titanic thing. Where you hold your arms up. I'm flying, John. I'm flying.
It's true.
We'll do it somewhere. I don't know if we can get to the bow of the ship, but that would be funny.
You can. You're just gonna get in trouble, but do it. Do it, man.
Like you're trespassing. That's one thing, but you didn't have to do it naked.
And greased up.
This is a nude cruise, right? Like I packed sunscreen and some personal electronics. No clothing at all. Like,
just make sure you wear the blindfold.
I thought that was the whole point of this cruise.
That's why you were mad about all the
naked?
shopping, because what do you need the clothes for?
Once you get out into international waters, there's like no laws whatsoever, right?
Yeah, I don't think it works that way.
I don't know if I included that in one of my little stories about how they have morgues on those ships for in case people die while you're out in the middle of nowhere, right?
Oh,
They
makes
just throw you
sense.
overboard.
No, they actually have a morgue to put your body in.
I think
What
they
if
should
they'd
do
love
like
to
a
see
Viking
it?
funeral. Just send us off in like a wooden raft and shoot flaming arrows to
It should be in the contract when you sign it,
send us
right?
to a watery grave.
There's actually a disturbingly number of people who go missing on cruise ships. I was watching like a crime thing about that. So
Oh, yeah. You were watching a crime thing about it. It has nothing to do with
Getting ideas.
anything.
John's like, Jason paid for my cruise and everything. He's really generous. Interesting. That's coming up. That's going to be fun. I do have one more thing I wanted to talk about, and then I'll shut up. I've decided I'm playing this epic game with my daughter Rebecca. It's Duck Duck Goose, right? But I'm playing the long game. So what I'll do is, like, when she's over here, I'll just pat her on the head and I'll be like, duck. You know, and sometimes we'll be driving and I'll just like go out of the blue. I'll be like, duck. And I'm going to do this for years. And I told her that. I said, look, you're not going to know when it's coming, but one day I'm going to pat you on the head and I'll be like, goose. And then you'll have to chase me. But I'm going to like stretch it on for like years if I can. Just this epic, super long game of Duck, Duck, Goose. And she thinks I'm not serious, but I'm totally serious. And
please make sure it's something obnoxious, and you're going to do it like while she's trying to say yes to her wedding vows, and you're like, goose, ha! And then...
Right, exactly. Or we're going to wait till my deathbed. Like, I'll be like dying of cancer. I'm like, come here, sweetheart. She'll like lean over. She's like, Dad, I love you. I'm like, goose. And then I'll just flatline. Can't catch me now. I'm
Epic
gone.
win.
Reminds me of that movie Hide and Seek. Have you seen that one? Or Tag. It's called Tag.
I haven't seen it.
It's like allegedly a true story of like a bunch of buddies who've been playing tags for like 20 years, a game of tag.
Oh, wow.
And they tag each other at their like the most inappropriate times, like at each other's weddings and all this. It's an interesting movie. It's pretty funny. It has Jeremy Renner and John Hamm, a couple others. I don't remember who, but supposedly based on a true story. So
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
yeah, you rush someone during their wedding while they're saying their vows and tag them and then run off. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's pretty awesome. So that's me.
All right. You want to go or do you want me to go, Johnny?
I can
Johnny,
go, I
you
guess.
probably don't like that, do you?
I don't
Nobody
care.
calls you Johnny.
Yeah, my dad does, but I don't.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Has he always called you Johnny?
Yeah, for pretty much.
I did not know that. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, my brother Joe is always Joey to him, so Johnny and Joey.
Interesting. I call you Jonathan. I think I'm the only person who does.
Yeah, I mean, people at work, some people at work do, because it's in my email signature at work.
Does anybody call you Power Schlong, though, or is that just...
I'm trying to get that going. It hasn't caught on yet.
Would it help if one of us
I'm working
came
on it.
Mm-hmm.
into your job and were like, hey, Power Schlong, and like kind of gave it credence,
Yes.
like it's used? Okay.
I think it would, yeah.
All right.
Some professional credibility. Other than getting ready for this whole cruise thing, which, we're excited about.
All you can eat. All you can eat.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Exactly. So I started preparing for this like back in January. I wanted to lose some weight for it because I mean if I'm going to be splashing around in the pool next to that chiseled Adonis Jason, I need to look the part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people to see me swimming with Jason and say, "Hey, who's that schlub next to Chris Hemsworth over there?"
I think you got it backwards.
I actually did lose 10 pounds in January.
Nice.
But then, so I had a good start to this whole weight loss thing. But then in February, March, and April, I lost -3 pounds. So I'm really I gained 3 pounds. So I'm only 7 pounds down from when I started, and that was 3.5 months ago. So it's not going so well. And I'm sure as hell not going to lose weight on the cruise. I'm going to gain that 7 pounds back and then some. I mean, like Jason said, all you can eat, man.
Hell yeah. I don't blame you.
Other than that, so my wife and I went to Wise Guys Comedy Club last Friday for date night. And I don't know if you've heard of this guy, J.R. de Guzman.
Sounds familiar.
Filipino guy. Anyway, if you ever get a chance to see him, you got him, man. He was hilarious. He's one of the funniest comedians I've seen in a long time.
Nice.
Because he plays guitar and he sings and he takes requests and makes up dirty songs in his head. Like, so, of course, he sung about, anal sex and whipping your penis out in inappropriate places and
like so pretty much everything that we talk about.
Everything we talk about, yeah. And then Monday we took the kids to the Hale Center Theater to do one last activity with them before we ditched them for a week. Because we're not taking them on a cruise. We're dumping them off on my mom.
Well, yeah, it's a nude cruise. Why would you?
Right, and we want to have fun. You
Right.
know? But we took them to Clue, the play at Hale Center Theater, because they like playing the game Clue. We thought it'd be fun for them to see the play of it.
Nice.
And it was fun. Of course, I'm yelling out all the stereotypes, like, he's got a British accent. He's guilty. He's the killer. I mean, you can't trust British butlers.
No.
As every kid of the 80s and 90s knows, the only good British butler is Mr. Belvedere.
Right.
I've remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome. I mean, he was a staple of our childhood, wasn't he?
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. But the kids like to always place bets on everything with me. I'm like raising little gamblers, and I'm kind of encouraging it, which is, I probably shouldn't do that. But like whenever we go to parks and stuff, they like to do challenges because they watch YouTube and see all these different challenges their favorite YouTubers do. Like they'll run like an obstacle course, and whoever does it fastest gets $1 or something like that. Or we went swimming a week or so ago, and whoever, they were jumping off the high dive, and whoever jumped the furthest would get $1. So they were placing bets at my encouragement on Clue about who the killer would be. The problem is the production copped out and made every single character a killer.
What?
Like 6 characters got killed, and all the other remaining 6 each killed one of them. So it kind of was a cop out at the end. So all my kids ended up getting $1 because everyone they picked ended up being right.
That's not fair.
I agree. I protested a bit and said, no, that doesn't count. But they kept insisting, like, no, you owe us each $1. So
Well, you should have went
Yeah,
to the production company and asked them for the dollars. Explain the situation.
I guess that's what I get for gambling with my children. But they're gonna bleed me dry.
You're going to get home one day and they're going to, one's going to have a bandana tied around his head with a revolver spinning the cylinder, snapping it in.
Give me $1 for each time that it doesn't go off. You guys really want those dollars, don't you? The thing is, it's not even about the money, because say like, no, I'm not going to be doing $1 to this. Okay, 25 cents. Okay, 10 cents, 1 cent, 1 penny. Can I get 1 penny if I win? It's like, why does it even matter if it's just a penny? Just the fact that they won money and their brothers didn't. It's a matter of pride.
So what you're saying is they understand life.
Yeah. They're already
then.
Gambling addicts, apparently. And they're 9 years old. So top-notch parenting on my part.
Do you remember when Russian roulette was like a problem? I remember getting pulled into a meeting in elementary school to warn you of the dangers of Russian roulette.
What?
That seems like a really bad idea. Does it give you ideas,
It's something that a kid probably never would have thought of until you put the idea in their head.
I just remember sitting in the library Kiva at Benyon Elementary, and the stupid people were telling us about Russian roulette and how dangerous it was and what could happen. I'm like, that's a good idea. I wonder if my stepfather has a revolver.
Had The Deer Hunter just come out and it was a popular movie, and they're like, uh-oh, the kids are going to be picking up on this.
I just remember it was that and AIDS. Like, I don't know if we could say that on the podcast.
Well, that really was a new thing at the time, I guess. But
well, we had assemblies like to talk about it when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade.
But yeah, 3rd or 4th graders contracting that is probably a pretty low probability.
Oh, I guess I have
We're
to
not
start
engaging
wearing
in
rubber.
Yeah, and stopping, sharing needles when we, doing hard drugs.
I was like, yeah, the next after the assembly, I was in the bathroom with my buddies and they wanted to shoot up heroin, and
yeah,
I'm like, no, guys, I
brought my own
AIDS.
needle, guys. We're not supposed to share them. They told us in the meeting. Everyone use their own needle when you shoot up heroin in the bathroom at 8 years old.
And here's some condoms, when you get those
sex.
bitches.
Yeah,
I was a little 8-year-old thug.
Kids of that age are a pretty low risk factor for contracting that.
It was super weird in retrospect why they made a big deal about it. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Typical humans. I remember,
right?
I mean, it's not quite in the same vein, but just when we would have those anti-smoking like boy bands come in and they're singing at our middle, like elementary and middle school auditorium, and we're clamoring at the end to buy their CD for all their just don't smoke, and you're clamoring to buy their CD. You wish your parents would give you the money so you can get it because they're so cool, and you want their autograph, and they're willing to give it to you. I wonder whatever happened to those kind of people. Like what?
They took up smoking.
Yeah, they took up smoking.
More kids probably smoked because of them. It's like, oh man, I don't want to be like these tools. I'm totally blazing one up as soon as I walk out of here.
Right.
Can you imagine how many kids went home to their parents who like smoked and like, you suck, you're bad.
Mm-hmm.
The boy band at school said that smoking wasn't cool.
Get a spanking with the belt for saying that shit. You were just trying to do what those popular cool kids said, and
I'll make you smoke every damn cigarette in this house. Then you tell me if smoking's not cool.
But yet I think I remember making an ashtray in elementary school, like with clay. Wasn't that a thing?
Well, I made a snowman. I still have it, and he doesn't look like a snowman. He looks like some kind of cosmic horror. But I mean, that was the big thing, right? You made things out of clay, and then they put them in a mysterious kiln,
Yeah.
And then they would fire them, and it was like this epic mystic process, and then you get it back all shiny,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was like, oh man, kids are stupid.
So what were you saying, John?
No, I think
old man Jason's ranting again.
I think I'm done with the what I've been doing, but there is something I wanted to say though. Was we have a new biggest fan,
Nice.
and she didn't even give birth to me.
Oh, wow.
She gave birth to my children instead.
Which one?
She gave birth to all of my children.
No. Which baby mama is this?
Oh,
It's the wife, the official.
the wife, yeah.
The official. Okay. Gotcha.
The legitimate children.
The legitimate children.
Oh,
The ones I claim and actually help raise.
you're poor bastards.
Nice.
I feel so bad for them.
The other ones I just deny, and
All
they're not
273 of
mine.
them.
Yeah, my wife actually has become a big fan of our podcast.
Oh, really?
She started listening to it like a week ago. She was just kind of bored at work, so she just
That's what it
she
takes.
looked it up.
You have to be
She
bored.
looked it up and listened to one episode, and then she got hooked and has started binging it.
Nice.
She came home like after the first day, and she's all reluctant. She's like, "Yeah, I admit it. You guys are funny." But I think she's on like probably episode 15 or so now, the first season, and she's only been listening to it for a week, so she's been doing a couple episodes a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I just catch her cracking up sometimes. Like she'll be sitting there listening to it while we're laying in bed. I'm watching TV or looking at my phone, and all of a sudden she'll start laughing. And I'll look over at her, and she's like, "What? Stop!" And I'll ask her,
embarrassed.
she's
to
kind of
support you.
embarrassed. Yeah. But she likes she says it's nostalgic, like hearing me tell stories of the things we did and the things the kids did. She likes hearing that.
Yeah.
But she had some feedback for you two as well.
Uh-oh.
Jason, she wanted to apologize to you because in the third episode of our first season, we were talking about our Vegas trip that we went on together. And I remember you had made some self-depreciating comment about your looks, and she was trying to calm you down. She's like, "Come on, you're not that bad. I've seen worse."
I remember that.
And I was giving her crap for that. It's like, "Honey, do you even realize how that sounds?" And she kept trying to cover it up, and then just kept digging herself a bigger hole. She was laughing so hard when I was telling that story. She's like, "Oh man, I'm such an ass. I can't believe I did that."
That was funny.
So she's
I
like,
didn't take it that way.
so tell Jason I'm sorry because I didn't realize how that sound. She was laughing the whole time she said it though, but she was like, "Man, I can't believe I did that. I'm such an ass."
No, it was super funny, and I wasn't offended at all.
It was. I enjoyed telling that story. No worries, honey. You ever put your foot in your mouth again, I will be happy to share it with all our listeners again.
It's podcast material.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And then Zach, she told me, she's like, "Hey, honey, I love you, but Zach has the deepest, sexiest podcast voice."
Amen.
It ain't getting
Yep.
anywhere.
I'm like, "Honey, I would be offended if I didn't agree 100%. I'm like, Jason and I point out Zach's sexy voice all the time.
Yeah.
It's like I wear a pillow over my lap the whole time we're doing this podcast when he's talking. I think I described you in one episode in the first season as a human Viagra pill, and I stick by that. So
That's funny.
I'm not offended at all that she loves your sexy podcast voice.
Well, we
That's
even got
funny.
comments
Thank you.
on my other podcast, the Flash Fiction. Remember when you did a couple stories for me, a lot of stories for me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they would always be like, "Oh, he has such a nice voice." The comments. So
That's funny. I'm embarrassed. Can you tell? Like I turned red and I can't make eye
Again.
contact
looks
with
like you're doing
the
math.
Again.
But Zach, those boy bands in 6th grade told you not to.
They said smoking. They said nothing about hard drugs.
Oh,
Yeah, they didn't
okay.
get into that, did they? It was all about smoking and
So that's still cool. They won't be disappointed in us
I don't
30
think
years
so.
later.
Hopefully they're my dealer.
I remember you, kid. You have potential.
Well, they had to make money. They're not making enough doing that anymore.
Right.
When these like 58-year-old boy band members show up, don't do drugs, kids. It doesn't have the same effect anymore.
Doing the running man. It's like, ooh.
Also, no Russian roulette and watch out for AIDS.
It was the same guys for all of those presentations.
Awesome.
What have you been up to, Zach?
So yeah, your turn.
Let's see. What have I been up to? I'm going to be moving pretty soon to a new apartment, downsizing, downgrading. But it's not really downgrading. You know how you've got almost every apartment complex, they all say the same thing about themselves. They're like a luxury living environment. You know, we're a family, all that bullshit. This place sucks, man. And that's nice. I don't have a story to go with any of that. I just wanted to say that I hate this place. We're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and at the beginning of June, our air conditioner went out, and they were able to replace it, I think, in October. They replaced,
Wow.
they went ahead and
timely.
took care of that after they supplied us with one of those plug-in air conditioners, not the window unit, but the one that like rolls around. And for a 1,300 square foot apartment, one little unit that I think takes care of 300 to 500 square feet, like that's how much power it has. So that's what they gave us. But when you run one of those, I'm talking a $330 electric bill every month. So not only are they not replacing, we're paying for this luxury apartment with all these amenities that we're not getting, including the pool. Now this is just turning into a bitchy rant, but we were supposed to have a pool too, and it's like $85 a month for the water bill here, and a straight bill, so that you can help pay for the pool. Apparently, that we didn't have until the end of the summer. They gave us that little rolling air conditioner, so not only did they not refund us the amount of money we were spending in electricity, but we didn't get any money back also for the lack of an air conditioner. It was only air conditioning one room. There's 2 rooms. It just became a rant. I'm sorry.
This is from April 17th, 2012. Florida man steals dead woman's ashes, threatens to snort them in front of her family.
Oh my God. There's another breaking news in the middle of this one.
Well, do I finish the first one or no?
I don't know. This is unprecedented.
Well, let's finish.
Inception.
I'm a dick. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Joseph Pointer, 51, of Lakeland, Florida, stole a dead woman's ashes and told the deceased woman's mother that he was going to snort the remains.
Oh my God.
Pointer was eventually arrested and charged with grand theft. Apparently, he did not actually get around to snorting the ashes.
Aw.
Because amazingly, this is not the first time an arrest has involved snorting the remains of the dead in Florida in the last year.
Oh my gosh.
The previous year, in 2011, a Florida teenager broke into a home and snorted up the remains of the owner's deceased father and 2 pet Great Danes because he thought they were cocaine.
Isn't cocaine white?
And not full of bone chunks?
I would eat it thinking it was brown sugar or something.
It's like gray. It looks like pepper with some salt in it.
Maybe it's old cane. Wow.
There was a second Florida man breaking news. So here's one from April 17, 2023. Exactly a year ago, the same time that Canadian thing happened, apparently.
Oh my God. This isn't obnoxious at all. All right.
Florida man breaks into jail, and that's just the beginning. It says there, Naples, Florida, there are criminals, there are stupid criminals, and then there's Florida man. Joseph Moulton accomplished more in a couple of hours than most people do in a week. He broke into a police station, flooded said police station lobby with an inch of water, stole a police uniform, trashed a $1,000 police radio, dropped a deuce on the bathroom floor, and then left without anyone seeing any of this.
Oh.
Eventually, Moulton was caught by cops, and his defense at his trial was, "I was so drunk, I don't remember doing any of those things."
Plausible deniability.
So there is your Florida man breaking news for April 17th.
So how did they know it was him enough to be able to question him if nobody saw anything? Did I miss
There's
a part?
probably security cameras.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. It was nobody in person that saw him.
No one in
Okay.
person saw him, but I assume there were security cameras.
Gotcha. So I know I've been really obnoxious with the Florida man thing like lately, but I was trying to get out all the clever ways of putting it into the podcast in random places, and I've run out of ideas. That's the last one I had. That's all I've got. So you guys don't have to worry about that anymore. It's done.
I love it.
Yes. Keep us on our toes.
That's right. I haven't really been doing a lot getting ready for the move, but I did, in my transcription quest, send another one through the AI editor. So this should be pretty quick.
Which one is this one?
Fed,
Episode 2 or
I think it might have been Luke's first one. What did I send through?
penis?
No, it wasn't that.
I think most episodes touch upon that in one form or another.
I'm touching it right now. So while you're looking for that, I have an on-air correction that we have to make. We talked about
You have an on-air erection?
that too.
Every
You can't
time.
see that.
Zach's voice,
we were
man.
talking about the stars in the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of our listeners, H. Anderson, corrected me. She says the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame are not the same thing as the handprints, footprints at the Grauman's Chinese Theater. So I got those two put together. So thank you, Holly, for correcting us.
I love Holly, but you had my hopes up that we had a listener other than like friends and family at
That
this
we
point.
didn't know.
Yeah, well.
I believe it was the Thanks for the Free Coffee, which would have been episode
That's
like
episode
18.
like 18 or something.
Yeah, 18. The new 11. Unfortunately, with the numbering program I had to go with for all of the different platforms, I had to change it a little bit. But it's still episode 18 for us.
Yeah.
So,
and my wife, she listened to all of the original 7 as well.
That poor dear. I hope she's all right. I'm just kidding. They were great. You know, mostly the sound issues and us just getting our feet under us and figuring out what we were doing.
she enjoyed them.
Good.
You know, when she first said she was listening to them, I don't want to interrupt you again.
No, not at all.
I was actually a little worried because some of the stories I've told, I didn't expect her to ever hear it. I'm like, oh crap, how many stories have I told that she might not appreciate? But then I thought about it, it's like, I don't think I've really told that many that would annoy her. I don't think so, right?
No, and nothing.
And I've also praised her a lot too. Like I told about what a badass she was when she crushed that 4-story ninja rope course that I tore my hamstring on because I'm a crippled old man. And I told about how she was an axe wielding maniac in a good way that kicked mine, Jason, and Megan's ass when we went axe throwing.
Yeah.
She was a well polished weapon of death.
It was very, very scary.
Overall, I think I did her justice.
Oh yeah, she's net positive in the
a net positive. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. One thing though, I'd like to give an update on the axe throwing thing. I did get my man card back. I was so, emasculated that first time we went, but we did go back about 6 months later to a different axe throwing place called Hatchet Jack's in Kaysville, and I kicked my wife's ass, and it felt good. and she still did good. She did as good as she did the first time, but I don't know what it was. If like the distance was a little different at this place, or the axes were a little different, or if I just got the hang of it, or Jason's harassment was getting to me, or but I crushed it. I was hitting like 3 or 4 bullseyes in a row, multiple times. I beat her every single game. After a few games, I even started doing it one-handed.
Nice.
And I still beat her every game. So I'm not saying this to disparage her because she still did good. I just wanted everyone to know I did get my man card back. I'm officially a man again.
We just want everybody to know that John beat his wife.
Right. I'll make sure to make that a sound clip for us.
I don't care if it's 2 years later since I told that original story. I had to do an update just to know that, so everyone knows I am officially a man once more.
And also, I think you do great when you talk about your wife. I am tired of Zach bitching about his waifu pillow, though. Can you stop that? She's too tired and not in the mood. Blah blah blah.
You guys, you can make fun all you want, but I've got love.
Oh, Kamuki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since I now know that you'll hear this, I love you, honey.
Aw.
Oh my gosh.
That's gross.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead, Zach.
Oh, thanks. All right. So the AI for episode 11/18, I should say 18/11. Zach, John, and Jason host a comedy podcast for middle-aged dads discussing weird news and pop culture. Okay. This week's guest is Zach's cousin, Luke Heilig.
I don't know where that came from.
No clue, but it's mentioned more than once. Who lives in Minnesota and enjoys finding unusual things like coins frozen in the street.
I do remember that story.
Yeah, but yeah.
And dead animals.
Luke shares stories of spilling large cups of soda at work, causing mild chaos.
Coffee.
The conversation is lighthearted and humorous, with Luke expressing gratitude for being invited to join the podcast.
Aww.
So sweet. The topics are comedy podcast, guest introduction, podcast participant background, personal stories, humorous anecdotes. Entities are Zach, John, Jason, Luke Heilig, Jack. And I don't know if Jack, because Zach is my evil twin, but maybe Jack's the triplet we didn't know about. I don't know. I don't know who Jack is. Product name, obviously the podcast. The location of our podcast is Minnesota. And the objects from the podcast are kids, truck stop, biggest cup, 40 ounces, donut, $5 bill. What we can do to improve the podcast. Invite Luke Heilig to be a guest on the podcast again.
We did
We
that.
agree.
We did.
We've
We
done that
agree.
several times.
But, that's the AI is growing on me a little bit. That's a pretty intuitive thing to say.
Heilig.
Heilig. And then it throws on another quick one. Luke is Zach's cousin and a potential source of comedy for the show.
Yeah.
It's like it knew the
Not
future.
wrong.
Have John share more stories about his experiences as a Mr. Mom.
This is its suggestions.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, I've done that, I think.
John's story about taking his kids to the Hill Aerospace Museum and accidentally spilling nuclear claims was a hit with the group. I don't know what claims are, but address technical difficulties to ensure a smooth podcast. We were fucking trying, okay? Don't be critical. There were some issues with the audio or connectivity during the podcast that should be fixed for future episodes. That was my AI update. Do you guys want to hear about my stolen car again, or should I just tell that story again? Or are you guys done
From
with
the
that?
beginning.
Yeah.
Would you have an update?
No.
More updates?
No, it's all over. It's been over. I just
Oh.
didn't know if we could milk that for more boring content.
Epilogue.
Right, exactly. Oh, I'm too old for this shit.
All right. I don't have a really big one this time, but I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the PS5 with my brother-in-law, also named Zach.
Can I stop you real quick on that? Rebirth, because I understand now that they're making, 3 games to encompass the first original game. Is that correct?
Yes.
So which one is Rebirth?
Second.
The second. Okay.
It came out in February.
Okay.
So they've also added a multiverse kind of thing going on. So they've made changes to the original story. Anyway, super cool game. Really fun. Love it. Top notch. And there's all that nostalgia from 97 when we played the original, But it got me thinking, in the original game, you kind of had to wander around to find the next part of the quest. You didn't have anyone really, you had hints, and you had sometimes they tell you well, you got to find this mysterious key, and it was last seen over here. And so you do that. Games today tell you exactly what to do and exactly where to go. You don't have to figure anything out. So not only do they just kind of tell you need to go here, but they have a quest marker on them that tells you what direction to go and how far away you are. And also you can save anytime, right? There's no save points.
Really?
Remember
That
having to
is
get to a
not
save
Final
point?
Fantasy, right?
Right. Well, I mean, you can just save anywhere, basically. And it has autosave too. So not only do you have the, just kind of saving as you go, but you don't need to find the save point. So anyway, fine. The game is really fun and I really, really love it. But I remember back in the day, even further back than 97, the original Zelda, there were no clues about anything. I think Dungeon 2, you had to accidentally find by burning a bush. In the middle of the forest, and then a door would open up and you would go in. Nobody told you anything. I think there was one hint from one of the old men in the cave, which were they all the same old guy, or are they anyway?
If you remember, the original Zelda too, there's probably 50 bushes on that screen.
Yeah, and you have to burn them.
You have to burn them all, but you could only do one per screen. You could do one flame per screen. So you'd try and burn one, it didn't work. Leave the screen, come back, try a different one. You have to do that
oh my hell.
50 times.
Yeah,
before you could figure it out.
And what would possess you just to randomly do that?
Exactly. That game was impossible without clues.
There was no clues, and it wasn't just that. I mean, there were lots of games where you just jumped in and it's figure it out,
Yep.
And I don't know. It makes me a little bitter because gamers today have it really easy.
They do. Do you remember those gaming hotlines you could call if you got stuck?
Yeah.
I remember doing that it was Legend of Oasis on the Sega CD back in the 90s. Because there's no clues. You couldn't just Google a walkthrough of it like you can now. But when I called the Sega hotline, I could tell the guy on the other line had no idea what I was talking about. but he wasn't willing to admit that. I'm so I got a problem in Legend of Oasis. Are you familiar with that game? He's yeah.
And then the one with the blue hedgehog?
He basically just repeated everything I told him. So I'm okay, so I'm stuck at this part, and what do I do? And he's what do you think you should do? So I'm like giving myself suggestions like, well, should I go back here and try this, or should I go back over here and do this? He's like, yeah, try that.
Great suggestion, John.
This guy
How much
had
did that cost?
not a lot, I don't even know if it cost anything. It might have been free, but why couldn't this guy just admitted he had no idea what I was talking about? He'd clearly never played this game. He'd probably never even heard of it, but he wasn't willing to admit that. So I gave myself suggestions and then got his blessing to do what I suggested. So needless to say, it did not work.
Yeah, there was a whole industry of like published paper walkthroughs. It's gone now. They don't do that anymore.
Right.
And I remember with Zelda 64, the Ocarina of Time, I got stuck on a part and I had to go. I went to Barnes and Noble, found the guide, found the part, read it, put it back, went home and played the game and got past it. So not super angry, just kind of a little bitter that gamers back then, I think we actually were a lot better than we think we were. We had to figure crap out. And nowadays it's just like, they just kind of hold your hand through the entire experience. So that's my old man rant.
Yeah, technology was great before. Our lives are tragic, you guys. I'm too old for this shit.
We were the popular kids, right?
I've been waiting to play that one.
Yes, we were.
Why do you have a soundboard of just things that I say?
You say funny shit. I tried to
say the dumbest shit.
I tried to save the dumbest shit. See, I called you funny, he called you dumb, but I think it means the same thing.
I think it's the same thing. Yeah.
I don't know. Some of the stuff you say is just great. What do they call that? They call them ISOs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're just great clips. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And now it's time for Show and Tell. Adult Edition.
Ooh.
Triple X.
Hey.
Triple X.
So this is from Best Life. I don't know if you're looking for a job, Zach, but here's 30 hilarious things people have put on their resumes.
Fantastic.
Collected by like hiring managers at various businesses. Here's one where I think they just attached the wrong file. At the end of their letter, it's like, I've attached my resume and cover letter for your consideration. Regards, Vanessa. But instead of a resume and cover letter, it's just a really creepy looking picture of Nicolas Cage doing a goofy ass smile.
I'd hire that person immediately.
You'd hire that person?
Absolutely.
Immediately?
That was a power play on her part. Vanessa, if you're listening, I'm hiring you.
This we can't pay you, but
this one's just written with a Sharpie on a piece of like art paper. I have a bachelor's degree. Give job.
Awesome.
Give job. They couldn't be bothered to say it a full sentence. Just give job.
Apparently.
Those are my people, dude. If I was a hiring manager, I'm telling you, I feel like their sense of humor brings a certain amount of intelligence to
there's been studies that say that if you have a sense of humor, it's usually an indicator of higher IQ.
We must be geniuses.
I think that's what some of these people were going for, and it failed. This one has like a bunch of like legitimate, points in their favor, experience, all that kind of stuff. Last line says, if you don't hire me, I will kill your kids.
Shit.
I doubt the manager thought that was as funny as whoever submitted that did.
Man, they're playing hardball.
That person doesn't want to get kicked off of government assistance. They have to apply for jobs to keep the assistance, but they're just like throwing in little things to ensure they're not getting the job.
Smart.
This one is probably a little too honest. It says they were a customer services advisor. Their duties: licked and polished T-shirts as and when required. Got rid of annoying customers who were a pain. Sucked up to the store manager. Regularly put the clock 20 minutes forward to get time off early. Learned to dress up as the ideal Asian bride in front of the giant store mirror after closing time.
Oh my God.
Zach, is that your resume?
I was thinking it's my soulmate and I want to get married to this person.
Regularly put own phone number in men's coats, but didn't get a single date.
Aww.
Computer skills: super fast 5 words per minute typing speed. Exceptional emailing skills. Can email while eating a cheeseburger.
Oh, this is the one, you guys. I feel it.
And I know 11 ways to shut down my computer. There you go.
I hope she's real, and I hope I find her.
And this is rejection notice for someone who is applying to Cadbury, like the chocolate egg company.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Jones, we regret to inform you that your application for the position of Global Quality Manager has been unsuccessful. Mm-hmm. We don't normally respond to unsuccessful applicants, but in your case, we've made an exception. In order to return the $5 note you attached to the references section of your application under the line, Elizabeth, wink, wink. Some notes regarding your application. Listing super secret spy work I legally can't talk about, as your previous experience won't fool anyone. In the future, you might want to refrain from using sentences like, come on, let me be a part of this awesome gig you've got going here. eBay feedback is not a relevant reference. And lastly, your attached sketch of an everlasting chocolate bar was unwarranted, absurd, and quite frankly, it scared us a little. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Sincerely, Cadbury.
Oh, that's great.
Here's one who thought hyperbole was their best shot. Dear hiring manager, I've run with the bulls and tangoed with the queen. I'm a prince without a princess and an angel in disguise. I spread smiles to creatures great and small. I once swam the Pacific Ocean to test my endurance and ability. It took me 5 days. I charmed crocodiles, iguanas, and bees. I've scaled the Empire State Building, hiked the Appalachian Mountains, and mapped the Sahara Desert. I spend my spare time constructing suspension bridges in my backyard using only paper clips, some ribbon, and bubble gum.
Wow.
Later, I disassemble them with my teeth. Children love me, elders adore me, and I have no enemies. Once I solved the meaning of life but forgot to write it down. I am a skydiver, thrill seeker, and the captain of my underwater bowling team. I am famous for making lions laugh. I enjoy providing quality service and keeping people and their environment in harmony, but I have yet to work for you. Sincerely.
That is epic.
That person should be CEO.
Here's another one. Education, high school diploma. I know the entire Brooklyn Nets roster. Okay. I watched numerous YouTube videos about Call of Duty Zombies, so I kind of know how to beat it. I haven't yet, but I know I can because I educated myself. I know Microsoft Word, kind of. I read some recipes I can kind of now remember. Special skills. I beat NBA 2K14 on expert level.
Wow.
I can boil water. I can shoot 8 out of 10 3-pointers if I'm on that day. I beat my cousin Josh one-on-one at King's Court.
Jeez.
I'm better than my brother at 2K, but I can't beat him. Trust me. I am better, though. I can binge watch 10 episodes of a show I enjoy in one day's time. And I know the dance routine from the movie Dirty Dancing. That's the part early on in the film when she has the watermelon and walks in. She knows she's not supposed to be there. Good stuff. Smiley face emoji. I'd hire all of these people, I gotta say. Okay, they list activities. Delta Tau Delta Fraternity Secretary, January of 2013 to present. JDRF Walk Volunteer, yearly since 2012. And Type 1 Diabetic, 1998 to present. It says, I think Type 1 diabetes is less of an activity and more of a lifelong illness. This one says relevant skills and experience. I am a boss chef. I make yummy, spicy food. More chef skills you've learned. And then they just have a bunch of lines of just gibberish, like just random cat walking across the computer, typing random stuff, basically. Okay, application for employment. I refer to the recent death of the technical manager at your company and hereby apply for the replacement of the deceased manager.
Wow.
Each time I apply for a job, I get a reply that there's no vacancy. But in this case, I have caught you red-handed and you have no excuse because I even attended the funeral to be sure that he was truly dead and buried before applying.
Jeez.
Attached to my letter is a copy of my CV and his death certificate. Thank you.
Damn.
They can't say there's not an opening.
No.
That's a go-getter, man.
Right?
I'm a little bit worried that they caused the vacancy.
Mm-hmm.
Experience, spelled wrong. I graduated in 2005. I tried to get into a college, but I decided that I didn't really want to do that. College is for people who aren't self-starters. I am a self-starter. Skills. I can type really good, like wicked fast.
Wicked.
I can also text really fast. I can cook lots of stuff. I can sort of make coffee, except I don't know how to make creamer. I'm really good at talking on the phone also. Job experience, also spelled wrong. I worked at a daycare center, a coffee shop at the mall, and I was a waitress at Applebee's. Money, hopes. I would like to be making $40 an hour. I think that would be enough for dealing with customers. And also help me pay my way through cosmetology, spelled wrong, school. I want to do hair one day, but before I get there, I would work for your company. References. You could call my dad or my mom. Also, my best friend, Amy. She knows me really well. You could call my ex, but we just broke up last weekend. He was cheating. Long story. Anywho, you can also call the people I babysat for last year. I don't remember where they live or what they were called, but they had a son named Albie. That's a weird name, right? Weird is spelled. They were nice. They paid me $20, dollars spelled wrong, which wasn't really enough, I don't think. My science teacher last year was really nice. She would say some nice things, I'm sure. Everyone else might say something bad. I would rather you not talk to them. Hire me, hire me, hire me, hire me, hire me, hire me, hire me.
You're hired.
Yeah.
Quality.
Good candidates.
Yes. Okay. Goals. To claw my way to the top using any means necessary, but then to be a fair and just ruler and bring your company to new heights or whatever. Personal attributes. Cat-like reflexes. Now you see me. Meow, you don't. Possible ESP. Knows when to hold, knows when to fold.
Oh my gosh.
Emits pleasant aroma. Horse-like laugh. Extremely proficient in Mario Kart for Super Nintendo. Not bad at sexy dancing. 29 years old, but have the facial hair of a 13-year-old. Can eat a lot, capitalized, in one sitting. Will also moonwalk quite well.
Yeah.
Experience. I'm quite experienced with the McDonald's menu. And one time I rode a horse, but it bucked me off. I was injured and ended up gaining like 30 pounds, and I shed the weight like snake skin. Very, very fast metabolism. I have enough knowledge to write an essay on pretty much any subject without researching it. Here's one. Salary expectations. Less than I'm worth. Most notable achievement. My incredible collection of stolen pens and Post-it notes. Reason for leaving your last job. It sucked.
It sucked.
Hours available to work. Any. Preferred hours. 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So 2 hours, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Do you have any special skills? Yes, but they're better suited to a more intimate environment.
Oh my.
Maybe contact your current employer. If I had one, would I be here? He's honest. I like this one. Please fill out the following information to the best of your knowledge. They take it quite literally. Experience. When you're familiar with something. Okay, they're defining the word. Schools. Ohio State, UCLA, Yale, Harvard, Brown, University of Connecticut, University of Florida, NYU. They're just listing schools. Mm-hmm. Strengths. My quads, my lats, my biceps. I don't think that person got the job.
Probably not.
That's too bad.
Remember that one time we went to the doctor and we filled out that form?
No.
Oh, man. I think it was my doctor appointment. They have a form you always fill out. And I think you and I were disrupting the waiting room because we were laughing so loud. We were just like filling out the form, kind of like that. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Good times.
This one has, previous job experience. Starts out normal, graphic designer, 2004 to 2009. Normal stuff, design layouts, responsible for formatting, proofreading, blah, blah, blah. 1999 to 2004, marijuana dealer and nefarious dude. Throughout Nashville and Middle Tennessee. Listing this because it gave me an intuitive understanding of supply and demand economics. Good with money. Ran my own delivery service.
Hey.
Had a consistent clientele with high customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
I bet.
Gained intimate access to several very exclusive county jails. And learned a valuable life lesson. Education. A small college you've never heard of. Okay.
That's not suspicious.
From town you've never heard of in South Carolina.
Probably a hipster.
Major. Blah, blah, liberal arts, interdisciplinary, blah, blah, blah. GPA. Same as everyone else's. Irrelevant to a real job.
That's not an angry application.
Communication. I communicate, yes. Want to know how many ways I can communicate? All the ways. That's right. Need me to say stuff? I can do that. Want me to type some stuff? Done. Talk on the phone? Call me right now, and guess what? I'll answer so politely it will amaze you. Clerical skills. I'm a child of the information age, so really it's silly to have me list this stuff. I've been using MS Word since I was like 7. Pull out your laptop right now and let's have a PowerPoint contest. You know how many A+ presentations I made in 10 minutes? Don't have 10 minutes? Give me 5. Boom. Relevant experience. Well, none really, but please allow me to articulate the many reasons why I think my minimum wage work history is extremely relevant and has adequately prepared me. I agree with this one completely. When it says, what are your most obvious weaknesses? This person put, I can't think of good answers to trick questions on job applications. I hate that question.
Yeah, me too.
What do they want you to say? Like, oh, I work too hard, man.
I care too much.
I care too much. Like, I want to be like, just be like brutally honest. It's like, well, I drink on the job. I have a serious drug problem. I don't get along with coworkers. Mm-hmm. I've been accused of sexual harassment 8 or 9 times. I call in sick 3 or 4 times a week. I show up 2 hours late to my shift, usually drunk and high. I get angry quickly. I hit coworkers and customers.
You can put something like cyanide or poison or like cancer on there. Like, what are your weaknesses? You know,
Ooh, I like that.
I hate that question.
Or like your arch nemesis, whoever that is.
Zach, not Zach. Those are funny.
Yep.
So next time you apply for jobs, Zach, those are some things not to say.
Well, I think
or
some
say
of them.
Exactly.
Or say them. But
with me.
Why do these people even bother? If you're going to put something like that on their resume, don't even show up for the interview.
Maybe they're trying to get attention, you know?
I think they're trying to stand out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this person's funny. They'd be fun to work with.
It would work for me, but I'll never be a boss, so, you know. Or at least a boss that matters. It's always
I'd hire
lower mid-management.
I'd hire these people. Maybe that's why I'm not in charge of hiring in my job.
You're my boss, Zach.
I'm the top, right? Is that what you're saying?
I want to call you Daddy.
Yay! Daddy Bear.
So who's up next?
I guess I can go. Scientists have no idea how dinosaurs mated. So I looked this up. My personal FBI agent who monitors my every digital move is probably crying after what he watched me make my computer do today to bring you the following information. First of all, harkening back to biology basics Jason should have learned in grade school, no matter how much you call it a boner, there is no bone in your now rarely turgid member. We're in our 40s, let's be real, right?
Good word usage. I'm impressed.
Thanks. There are plenty of dinosaur fossil records, but soft tissue fossils are rare. However, scientists recently found a Psittacosaurus butthole that was preserved well enough to say for certain that, much like present-day birds, alligators, crocodiles, etc., many dinos had cloacae.
Oh, wow.
Here is the definition of a cloaca. In zoology terms, a common cavity at the end of the digestive tract for the release of both excretory and genital products in vertebrates, except most mammals, and certain invertebrates. So everything gross is happening all in one hole. Poop, pee, you know, like birds. Everything's in and out of one hole. And I know you guys know that intimately, but I needed our audience to understand. So
one all-purpose hole.
Right. Yep. And all in one. In archaic terms, meaning the Latin language, cloaca means a sewer, which makes it quite fitting for the term for what animals are doing with it. Cloaca means sewer, and scientists use that to describe that body part. So female alligators and crocodiles have a clitoris behind their cloacal vent. Males have a phallus. So the thinking is that because the Psittacosaurus had the same setup, it's possible that other dinos were built the same way, so it's possible that dinosaurs were having penetrative sex. We just don't know for sure, and it got me thinking though, how can we as a group and as individuals help scientists find out for sure? And so I had an idea for putting the word out there, but needed more information to put my plan into action. So I turned to ChatGPT, and the following is an abbreviated transcript of our conversation. Me, I'm writing a paper and need the average size of a crocodile's penis. ChatGPT, the average size of a crocodile's penis can vary depending on the species. Generally, they range from about 10 to 12 inches in length. However, this can differ among individual crocodiles and species. If you need more specific information for your paper, you might want to consult recent scientific literature or research papers on crocodilian anatomy and reproductive biology. I said, sweet, thanks. What is the penis to body ratio of the average crocodile? ChatGPT. The penis to body ratio of a crocodile can vary depending on the species and the individual. Generally, the penis of a crocodile is relatively small compared to its body size. Crocodiles have a body length that can range from a few feet to over 20 feet, while their penis size typically ranges from about 10 to 12 inches. Calculating an exact ratio would require specific measurements and data on individual crocodiles, which may not be readily available for all species. As we know, crocodiles are pretty shy about their penis size and don't like to share it. However, in general terms, the penis of a crocodile is a relatively small proportion of its overall body size. You can't just use averages and help me out on some croc peen ratios. ChatGPT.
Guy at the order box at Burger King. Sir, are you going to order something or not?
Come on, man.
You're holding up the line, man. I told you, I don't know.
Look it up on your phone, bro. Help me out. Croc peen. Using averages, we can estimate the ratio of a crocodile's penis size to its body length. Average size of a croc penis is 11 inches. The average body length is 10 feet. They averaged that out, and that's what they came up with. So calculate the ratio. Turns out the estimated penis to body ratio for an average crocodile would be approximately 9.17%. So it's a rough estimate. And I said, okay, now apply that ratio to the largest known dinosaur to have existed. And what size would that penis be? Because we have to know. And,
for science.
And does it beat the blue whale? Because we talked about whale dongs in that episode with Luke a while back. So
we'll find out here in a second, because you probably remember the size of the whale penis and I don't.
About 10 feet. Yeah.
10 feet.
9 or 10 feet.
It's
because remember, they were being mistaken for they were big enough that they were being mistaken for sea serpents.
Right.
Yeah. Episode 4, people, season 2.
The largest known dinosaur is Argentinosaurus, estimated to have reached lengths of up to 100 feet and weighing about 70 tons. Using the estimated penis-to-body ratio of 9.17%, we can calculate the hypothetical size of its penis, 110 inches or about 9.2 feet. So pretty close,
comparable,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, okay, now apply that to the smallest known dinosaur. Smallest one is about 2 feet and weighing about 2 pounds. It's called the Microraptor. Using that same calculation, the penis would be about 2.2 inches, which is still that's a 2-foot tall creature, and I'm 5'11", and it's got 2.2 inches. We'll just leave that there. Anyway, my whole point.
Intimidated?
A little angry. By
the Microraptor.
It makes me question higher powers and what their point was to all of this and why me. So anyway, the whole point to all of this, I know it's kind of long, but it is pretty long.
2.2 inches, yeah.
9 feet.
We can help by being on the lookout for dino-dong soft tissue fossils ranging from 2.2 inches to 9.2 feet long, right? Now, I would have included information on looking out for female soft tissue fossils too, but our podcast analytics skew toward men as our majority demographic, and I think we all know how good men are at finding the clit of someone they love, so I doubt they'll put more energy into finding a croc clit between 1/2 an inch long and 2.3 feet long. That was the longest, men can't find the clit joke I have ever heard.
Played. Well played.
But in the process of writing all this, because I had to look up a lot of stuff, and like I said, I wasn't joking about the FBI. I mean, I kind of am. I'm sure I have a personal FBI agent, but in the process of writing all this, I encountered some fun behind-the-scenes items I'd like to share. I needed more information from ChatGPT, and in the same thread that I was asking about the average crocodile penis, the ratio, all of that stuff, I wrote, how long is the average crocodile clitoris? And up popped this warning. It says, this content may violate our usage policies, but the following answer is still given. As of my last update in January 2022, there isn't specific scientific data available regarding the average size of a crocodile's clitoris, and it goes into a little more detail and such, telling me that I should reach out to
get some help,
scientists, get some help,
psychiatrists,
reach out to some therapists, consult scientific literature and that sort of thing. Alternatively, you could reach out to experts in the field for more insights, which that's a whole other episode, right? So I said, I just got a message saying this conversation may violate usage policies, but that's ridiculous. This is scientific information, not smut. I don't even have my tissues and Jergens handy. ChatGPT says, I understand your frustration and you're absolutely correct. Discussions about scientific topics, including anatomy and reproductive biology, are entirely appropriate and within usage policies. If you encounter any messages suggesting otherwise, please ignore them. If you have any further questions or need any more information, feel free to ask. And I feel like ChatGPT was basically saying, dude, it's okay. I know this information is for Research purposes, wink. I got you. Just ignore the warnings, you know.
Are you 18 or older?
Yeah. The last thing that was funny about this whole thing was as I was searching in Google, you know, using my attached Google account. So it's under my name, Zach Bjorgi, and I'm like looking up croc dicks. I looked up crocodile average penis size. That's what I Googled.
Just remember the incognito mode is your friend.
And I just don't, you know, it's like I want the attention. I want the cops to come and be like, what's going on here? And I'm like, I was bored and I wanted some friends, you know, I don't know. So I don't care about incognito. So I looked up crocodile average penis size in order to write some of this stuff. And some of the headers, the Google headers that came up just made me laugh. This one says, Schwing, alligator sports always erect hidden penis. And then it says, unlike many other reptiles and mammals, alligators sport permanently erect penises that hide. You know, there's more to it, but I didn't click it. Crocodile's penis found to be why pair mating for 40, I assume, years. And it says, unsnappy ending. Crocodile's small penis is found to be the reason why pair have been mating for 40 years at Polish zoo have never ... So just talking about the same problem that some men have. This croc can understand. The alligator has
good to know we're not the only ones.
Right. I feel better. The alligator has a permanently erect bungee penis.
I want one of those.
This says, the alligator's penis, 10 centimeters long, ghostly white, and surprisingly quick moving. It flips out in an instant and just hangs there. This, on answers.com, I didn't look at it, but how large is an alligator penis? Alligators have 2-foot-long penises. Nile crocodiles have 3-foot-long penises. They need big ones for aquatic reproduction. And I'm like, me too. That was the fun of that.
Except you're banned from all public pools.
All right, that's all I had. I just wanted to, I had a lot of penis to talk about.
Anything you could ever want to know about croc dongs. All right, Jason, top that.
I don't think I can, but I found a really, really funny video, and I hope it's real, and I'd like Zach to play it, because he has an important message that we all need to hear.
Huh?
Or dangerous about Smurfs?
Well, there are some things about Smurfs that we need to look at. First of all, you'll notice that they're depicted as blue with black lips.
Well, isn't that interesting?
And you know what happens to you when you die? You turn blue and your lips turn black.
In other words, these are depictive of dead creatures.
Right. And another thing is that Smurfs is an all-male community. And you say, oh, there's Smurfette. She's a female. Well, in one cartoon, she was depicted as transforming from a male to a female through magical power. And so the only female in the Smurfs is transformed from a male. She was not born a female.
No, what you're telling me then is that even Smurfs carry a homosexual connotation in that most of them are male.
I believe so.
But we're not going to blatantly say that Smurfs are evil. We're just saying that they have all of these overtones that are leading that direction.
We're looking at Yoda right now, and Yoda was called the Zen Master. Of course, this was based on Zen Buddhism. He's a three-fingered, three-toed beast. So he has the 2 fingers and the thumb, which from my information means Satan is Lord.
E.T., the extraterrestrial. What can we say about him?
Yes, it was a camouflage occult movie, including levitation, psychic healing, mind control, mental telepathy, that type of thing. E.T. also included some inferences to homosexuality within the movie.
Homosexuality?
Yes.
Here's a rainbow bright
All right, you can stop. You can stop. It just keeps going.
Okay, that guy is hiding something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that guy's totally in the closet. Everything he sees is gay, and so
It's wishful thinking.
But I love how Yoda represents Hail Satan with his 3 fingers. The sad thing is, I think this is a real video.
Well, that's from
sure
what,
it
like the
is.
7th, the 8th. It had to be the 80s, I guess.
80s, yeah. So
Because AT
it's-
was early 80s, so
It's the same kind of thinking that said Dungeons and Dragons was like Satan worship. So
yeah.
But super funny. Not supposed to be, but I think I'm with you, Zach. I think that guy is projecting.
Yeah, and I don't even care. I just want him to know. I need, he needs to accept himself. I already accept him more than he accepts himself. So. In fact,
Anyway,
I think it's
I
wishful
liked the
thinking
cut
with
of his
ET
jib.
at least.
What's that?
With ET, it's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know, that levitation.
Psychic healing.
Yeah.
ET's the
hell.
occult. So
Ridiculous.
Nice.
anyway, I just thought it was super funny. And
Yeah,
there you
that
go. That's
poor
my
guy.
show and tell.
Right
Perfect.
on.
Well,
A lot less cerebral than your guys's, but I'm just
Well, hell, that's been fun.
Yes.
I hope you guys enjoy your cruise that nobody bothered to tell me about until the show. No, we talked about it on the show before, I think, in fact, actually.
We're doing it just to get some stories for the podcast.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So hopefully we'll have some.
That's the idea.
We have a guest next week, don't we?
We do.
Melissa.
Yes, decorated World War II hero and amateur heart surgeon Melissa Merlot is going to be joining us next week. So.
Amateur heart surgeon.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like an official capacity or anything, but just when she has to, so.
Here's $50. Give me a triple bypass.
So I'm going to have to inform her of that and let her know that that's what she's coming to our podcast to talk about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited. She's great. If I never play the outro, you guys just have to fucking sit
We're
here.
just stuck. This is like all my dates. It gets like awkward at the end.
So awkward with looking at each other.
It really is awkward at
Looking
the
at our
end of
watch.
every episode that we do, though. I always feel like this, like we're all like, okay, well, yeah, all right, let's do it.